All right, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Bill Hargenrader, best-selling author of Mars Journey, Call to Action, and online community ambassador for the Mars Society. I'm here today with an amazing guest, Alyssa Carson. Welcome, Alyssa.
Hi.
How's it going? So where are you coming, where are you broadcasting from today?
Well, I'm currently at the space camp in Huntsville, Alabama. We had just run up here just to spend like a couple of days, just kind of looking around, meeting with some old friends, and just kind of spend a couple of days up here.
Okay, well, awesome. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. What we're gonna do is read through your bio, and then we'll get started into your personal journey, what path you're on, and where you're looking to go. So, ever since she was a little girl, Alyssa Carson has had her heart set on the stars. At only 3 years old, she told her father, "Daddy, I want to be an astronaut and be one of the people that go to Mars." He had no idea that the seemingly offhand statement would actually become the birth of a meaningful, lifelong endeavor. At just 15 years old, Alyssa's list of accomplishments include witnessing 3 space shuttle launches, attending space camp 7 times, Space Academy 3 times, Robotics Academy once, youngest to graduate Advanced Space Academy, and multiple Sally Ride camps. Looking down here, she was later selected as one of the 7 ambassadors representing Mars One, a mission to establish a human colony on Mars in 2030. In October of 2016, Alyssa was the youngest to be accepted and graduate the Advanced Possum Academy, officially making her certified to go to space and an astronaut trainee. And more than anything, Alyssa is driven by an insatiable desire to live life to the fullest, to break through the ceiling of possibility and make a positive and lasting impact on the world. I love it. So let's jump right into it. We talked a little bit about getting started at 3 years old. What's your journey? How did you get started? And tell us a little bit about that.
Really exactly how you said. I was watching this television show, and kind of the way the show worked was the characters went on an imaginary adventure every episode. And so as I was watching that as a little 3-year-old, I wanted to be one of their friends and go on the imaginary adventures with them.
Yeah.
And so one of the episodes was a mission to Mars. And so right after that episode, I just really asked my dad if it was possible for humans to go to Mars, if, it was actually a thing that you could do.
Yeah.
And he told me everything that he knew about the lunar landing, the little bit he knew about space. And then from there, I was just wanting more and more and more information. So I kept asking for, books, posters, videos, kind of anything I could get my hands on to learn more about space and about Mars. And as I got older, I continued kind of studying the stuff I had. And then it wasn't until I was around 7, which is the first time I came to the space camp in Huntsville, Alabama, where I really learned everything that I had been wanting to know about space.
Wow. And how old are you now? What grade or what level of education are you at?
I'm 16, so I'm a sophomore in high school.
Very cool. How do things go with your classmates, knowing that you're on the path to become an astronaut?
I think it's pretty cool because I keep a very balanced life. So kind of to my friends and classmates, I'm not really like Alyssa Carson wanting to become an astronaut and go to Mars. It's more like just a normal teenage girl, like another person at the high school. So really, it's kind of just having that balanced life about, doing all of this as far as my training, and then also just being a normal kid who thinks everybody else does.
So I played sports. A lot of people play sports. It seems your sport is training to be an astronaut. What's some of the training that you've gone through?
So I started out by just doing different simulators. So some of these simulators include maybe doing a simulated mission, doing some simulators that are, for example, like a tumble spin in space where the spacecraft spins out of control, doing different gravity simulators, seeing how that feels. And then the Possum Academy that I went to last October, there I did some more intense training, which is why it actually certified me as an official astronaut trainee. And so some of the things I did there was we did some pretty intense G-force training. So we would go up in an airplane and they'd fly the plane, do like 4G turns and fly upside down, do inverse Gs. We did a bunch of pretty cool stuff like that. I also did hypoxia, which is decompression. So they start taking the oxygen from your atmosphere, and then you learn your personal symptoms about what happens when you start losing oxygen, because everyone's is different. And so that way, if there is a slow decompression, you can see, hey, I have these symptoms, something must be wrong, I can put on a mask. And so I learned how to do all that. Different spacesuit trainings, putting on a spacesuit, seeing what it is being in your own kind of pressurized environment, because you're basically in your own little world in there. And so that's kind of some of the things I've done, as well as kind of getting my scuba certification and also working on my pilot's license.
Nice. Now, are you able to work with your teachers to kind of choose curriculum that's in line? Like, obviously, you know what you want to do. You're driven and you're doing it. Are you able to? Are you still taking the home ec courses? Or are you able to, take the classes that you want? I'm curious.
I would say that just even like everyone at my school kind of has the opportunity, because for your junior and senior year, we work on the International Baccalaureate Diploma. And so that is similar to AP, but it's called IB. And IB is known more in foreign countries because we're an international school.
Okay.
So that's why we work on that. And so with that, you pick your own 6 classes. So you have a choice. So for me, for the next 2 years of high school, all of my higher level classes will be biology, physics, and math. So I've definitely geared my schedule to be more math and science to kind of help me out for the future.
That's awesome. So, obviously you get a lot going on, but I want to circle back to some of your influences along the way. Maybe some of the, obviously watching TV and watching that show. What are some other influences that maybe started making you realize that you're on the right path?
Definitely some of just the people that I've gotten to meet over the years have kind of just continued to inspire me to keep working towards this. Someone in particular is astronaut Sandra Magnus. I met her when I was pretty young, and it was at one of these Sally Ride camps, actually, and it was in Louisiana, where I'm from, and I was talking to her, and I was around 9 years old at the time when I was talking to her, and she was telling me all this information about where she started, how she started. And she told me that at 9 years old, she decided to become an astronaut. And then I was looking at her, and she had already been to space several times. At the time, she was planning on going on another mission. And so she just kind of motivated me and showed me that you can decide what you want to do at a young age and then work hard at it and eventually pursue that goal. And so that kind of inspired me and motivated me to keep going. As well as just having like my dad support me and everything, and just like continuing to be like by my side and me wanting to do all these crazy things. And then I would definitely say I know some of the shows, I guess I could mention, like some things I watched, like I know Cosmos that Neil deGrasse Tyson did. That was pretty cool. I mean, because I'm all about, learning more about it. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just meeting the people and hearing what their jobs were in the space program and how they got there, what they're doing, and what's really next.
Yeah. And so what is next for you, training wise, curriculum wise?
Well, the next kind of big thing is this summer. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff throughout the summer since I'm off school, so I can spend more time doing training things. So I'm going to be spending a week down in Kennedy, down Cape Canaveral, learning some things. I am also going to be coming back up to Huntsville for about 2 weeks this summer, and then doing some more simulations and things like that. Yeah. And then the big thing is I'm going to be going to northern Canada, and I'm going to be doing a high altitude mission kind of over the kind of northern territories in Canada. And there we'll go up around like 25,000 feet, and we'll actually be taking pictures of these clouds in the upper atmosphere. And so that's kind of like a big high altitude mission. So that's kind of my next step, getting a little bit closer up in the atmosphere.
Yeah, I think what's great about wanting to go to Mars, us as a species, is we realize how beautiful our planet is here, and it's great to hear you get to travel, see, experience our planet, our world in different ways to plan to go off planet. So why do you think, I'm curious, you think that you're individually driven to go to Mars, but maybe on a broader scale, what are your thoughts on humans getting to Mars and why that's important?
Well, I think that now that I've really gotten older and kind of understand more about kind of the benefits we get from going to Mars, I feel like also that has really motivated me to actually keep working towards it. Because at first it was all about, why not go to Mars? No one has ever been there. There's so many things that we can discover, and it's still that. But at the same time, it's also thinking about how a single planet species will become extinct. So if we stay on Earth forever and ever, and, this is in the far future, but, if the sun were to burn out, like a star would do, and then where would we go? And I really believe that, like, Mars is that first step in kind of showing people that we can actually travel to another planet. We have the technology to do that. We are getting to that point where we can move on from Earth and possibly even live on another planet. So I think just getting a group of astronauts to land on Mars and start that exploration, seeing what else we can find, make new discoveries, and then that just kind of shows everyone else here on Earth that's possible, and then we can start moving forward.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, great. So I want to switch into kind of some top tips, some top lessons you learned, and maybe if for other people that are your age or younger that are wanting to become astronauts, what are some things that you'd pass on to them?
I would just say first, kind of the first step is really just to figure out what kind of subject in school you're interested in, because that's just really a good place to start. You go to those classes every day, so just find one that you're really interested in, math, science, history, whatever it is. And then once you figure out, kind of narrow that down, then just kind of look into all the possibilities that you can go into within that subject. Because like if you just take math, for example, you can do becoming a math teacher and becoming a mathematician. And those are two completely different things.
Sure.
You take two completely different studies to go to those places. So just kind of look at all your options that you can go into. And then once you really find kind of something that maybe piques your interest, look into it, talk about it, ask people about it, see what else you can find. And even just like maybe finding someone in your area who already has that job can be a huge help, and seeing how they got there, what they did, for some advice, and then kind of make that your dream and make that your goal and never give up on it, and really just never let anyone take that dream away from you, because it's something you want to do, something you're passionate about, then go for it.
No, that's great advice. Good way to live life, and good lesson to pass on. What about do you have to? Are you currently? I mean, your focus is becoming an astronaut and to get to Mars. So do you study up on Mars itself a lot? Mars atmosphere and radiation levels and things of that nature. I'm curious.
I mean, I would say that. I mean, I try to stay ahead on everything that's going on, but definitely I do try to keep my studies up to par. But
well, from your perspective, what are some of the bigger challenges for us to actually get there?
I mean, some of the big challenges right now is kind of managing kind of the weight that the weight of the spacecraft that's going to Mars, because we need to figure out, what we want to bring the most of. So seeing some problems, our food supply, what are we going to do about that for the mission to Mars, since it's about 6 months to get there? What are we going to do about the radiation levels in between Earth and Mars? And so those are definitely some of the bigger problems that we're facing right now. And I mean, all of them have different ideas for different solutions. So we do have a bunch of solutions up in the air to solve all these problems. But it's just all about kind of narrowing down which one we want to actually choose and actually go for it. But I would say that's kind of what we're mainly looking at.
No, and that's great. People have different interests and specialties and skills because they can work on different parts of the mission. So we're actually going to come to the end of this interview for now. Like I said, I really appreciate you taking the time away from space camp and your training. But do you have any final words, anything that you would want to say just to the people that are listening?
Just thank you for having me, and yeah, just always follow your dreams and never give up.
Okay, awesome. Where can we find you? What's your website?
My website is nasablueberry.com, and from there is the links to every other kind of social media. I mean, it's all under NASA Blueberry.
Awesome. Well, we'll post those links below as well. It's been a real pleasure interviewing you today. Thank you so much, Alyssa.
Thank you.
And for everybody watching or listening to this right now, if you like this, give it a thumbs up or give some 5-star rating and subscribe, and we'll see you or hear you on the next interview. Thanks and take care.